Hi everyone, my name is Robin Ahmed. I am a Pfeiffer cohort student in the education program, and I'm going to show you or tell you about my third grade solar system unit. I chose third grade solar system because the solar system has so many things that can be integrated into different kinds of lessons. You can do math, you can do reading, social studies, anything. And that is exactly what I did. I did the best I could to integrate as many subject areas as possible into my unit. I chose third grade because third grade's a transition grade, and the kids are coming out of that dependent stage and becoming more independent, and they're able to kind of do a little bit more on their own, and I really kind of enjoy that a little bit. So let's get started with my unit. So the Common Core standards that I used for this unit were basically 3E1.1, which is to recognize that the Earth is a part of a system called the solar system that includes the Sun, which is a star, planets, and many moons, and the Earth is a third planet from the Sun in our solar system. The other standard that was used most was 3E1.2, which is recognize that changes in the length and direction of an object's shadow indicate the apparent changing position of the sun during the day, although the patterns of the stars in the sky, to include the sun, stay the same. The first standard was used more than the second standard in this unit, but the second is discussed in at least 2 units or 2 lessons. Some of the resources that I chose to use throughout this lesson or throughout this unit were brainpop.com. The students can access this, and there's several videos on all different subjects. They have math, science, reading, social studies, art, history, everything you can think of. There's cute little videos on there that give them more information. It's just a fun website for them to use for research purposes. And of course, nasa.gov, they have tons and tons of information for anything involving the solar system and space travel or space exploration. There was a lot of fun, interesting things going on that website as well. PebbleGo.com is a lot like BrainPop. The students can log into that website and use it for different research purposes. It gives them a lot of information that they can use for their research. Kidsastronomy.com, there's lots of information on that website. There's lots of activities and things that the kids can do under different subject areas in astronomy. And planetsforkids.org was a good one for learning about each specific planet. I really enjoyed that website as well. And these are just a few of the many websites that I used while planning out this lesson, this unit on the solar system. Some of the projects and experiments that I included in this unit, they were really fun, and I almost wanted to do them all myself. One of my favorite ones was a lesson on how rockets fly and the effects that gravity has on keeping things on Earth, and so how difficult it is for rockets to actually fly out of our atmosphere. And it's just a fun experiment using balloons and straws and some string. I think it would be a really fun experiment for the kids to do to really kind of get an idea of what it takes for a rocket to lift off and actually make it out of our solar system. Another project that I really enjoyed writing a lesson for was when we studied constellations. This project allows for the kids to make a little apparatus that will allow them to project the constellations on the wall using simple toilet paper rolls and just some paper and tape or rubber bands, whichever works best for you. This was a really fun thing to study and learn about. And this lesson in particular, I really enjoyed. This book, Zoo in the Sky by Jacqueline Minton, I had never read it before, and I happened to find it, and I ended up ordering it because it was such a good book. This book, it's got beautiful pictures in it. In fact, I'll show it to you here. This book is beautiful, beautiful pictures, very colorful and very illustrated, and it gives you a lot of information about the different constellations and where you might look to find them, depending on where you are in on Earth. So I really enjoyed this lesson as well. And the project that they did afterwards was they kind of got to create their own constellation. They could use any shape or whatever they wanted to do to create their own constellation. I thought that was kind of fun too. And then another experiment that I talked about in my unit was a lesson on shadows. This is using that second Common Core standard that I talked about at the beginning. In lesson 21 of my unit, we did a lesson on shadows. And I actually, since I work in a school, I kind of have the opportunity to try things out with some of the students that I already work with. So I actually did this with a first grade class, and they just absolutely loved it. But this was a great lesson to show that, you know, the Earth is actually moving. You know, sometimes the kids think that it's always the sun that's moving or the moon that moves, but really it's the Earth that's moving and spinning, and that you know, we're in constant motion. And they, of course, first graders, they didn't believe me, so we went out and we did this fun experiment, and they just had a blast doing this, and they're like, oh my gosh, what happened to my shadow? It shrunk. And they just thought it was really, really cool that, you know, their shadows moved and changed shape and size and all that stuff. So this was a really fun experiment, and I think a third grade class would really enjoy this one as well. So some of the books that I chose to use for this unit, There's No Place Like Space. It is Cat in the Hat, but it was written by Tish Rabe. And this, of course, Dr. Seuss was great about, you know, giving lots of information in a fun and entertaining way. This book goes right along with that same style. There's tons of information in here you wouldn't think that you would find in such a fun, you know, fun little book, but there's a lot of information in this book, so we really enjoyed that one. The Solar System, which was published by the 5 Mile Press, is kind of a nonfiction book, and it has a lot of good information. You could use it definitely with an introductory lesson, something like that. I also included these books that I found on Greek mythology, since a lot of the names of the planets and stars and constellations and things in our solar system came from Greek and or Roman mythology. I thought these books would be good to include in the unit as well. So just kind of an overview of the solar system unit that I created here. The solar system is one of my favorite things to teach. There are so many ways to connect the solar system to all the other subject areas. I was having a hard time deciding which projects or which lessons I really wanted to teach because there were so many of them. I had a great time researching and putting this unit together. I learned a few new things, as well as some things that I had forgotten over the years. And I'm really excited to have completed this lesson unit. I look forward to in the future when I actually have the opportunity to teach lessons like this to students. So I hope you enjoy my solar system unit. Thank you.